Ladies and gentlemen, it is another day of Ragnarok, and we are here in the Pet Pavilion today because we are going to be covering a reagent that is kind of different in terms of like how to obtain it and what to use it on. So this is not one that you can pick up off the ground. You cannot fight bosses for it. You cannot open wooden chests, silver chests, cannot transmute into it, etc. But there's a reagent that is very rarely talked about. I don't even know if there's a video about how to get these. I did not do my research about if there's other videos on it, but there's only one way, one system to get it. And that reagent is the hatch pepper. I have 76 right now. And this video is going to be a little bit shorter because of how simple this system is. Now, it can be hard to build this stock because it takes time, a lot of time. But interacting with the pet system is the only way. So because there's only one method, well, technically two, kind of, but it's like two different ways of doing the same thing. Because there's only one system that uses it and one kind of method to do it, this video will not be long. So with hatch peppers, this is what you get whenever you offer a pet, in which is this middle button here. Now, in my case, I already have offered the ones I can, but you can offer up to 5 pets at a time. And when that happens, if I was to go to browse and I look for a pet, let's say I wanted a Frostfang, for example. You can hit browse pets by type, and then you can go in and try and hatch with it if it has the talents you want. And obviously, when it comes to pet stuff, you want to look for good stats. You want to look for good talents. You basically want to look for what's good for your build. Now, if you're someone that has used the kiosk to hatch before, like you're using pets that people offer. So if you go to offer and put a pet in, that means you are offering a pet to the community. Do not worry, because if you kiosk a pet through the offer, if you offer a pet in the kiosk, it does not leave your backpack. You still have it. In my case, I do have these pets up, such as my main resist pet, such as my current advanced combat resist pet, such as my very bad energy pet, stuff like that, and my handing pet. And even though they're all in the kiosk, I still have my tiny Chester here. It does not pull them out. You can still use it, so don't worry. You could, but yeah. So when it comes to this, anytime somebody uses one of your pets in a hatch through the kiosk, you get a hatch pepper, and you can hatch basically as much as you want through this. But I think there's like a short cooldown, or maybe it's long. I don't remember. It might be like a 12-hour cooldown. Somebody will tell me, and a pet expert will tell me. I'm not a pet expert, but yeah. So this is one way of hatching to get hatch peppers, is to offer them in the kiosk, and then over time they will build because people will eventually find your pet. Now, if you want people to use your pet, the biggest advice I have for you is make sure that the stats are right, the talents are right, and the bodies are right. Make sure it is as perfect of a pet as you could possibly make. For example, max resist builds will use a Rude Goblin because it goes with the Road Legend Skull Wand. This one, because of the Cold Rider set, in which you get 3% resist. So if you want that resist, you need this wand, and you need this specific pet body, the Rude Goblin, specifically. So for max resist, I have pets for that, and then one hitting pet. But however, there's a lot of hitters out there, so I might not get as many as an actual hitter. So if you're like a storm or a fire, you can actually get away with having crit damage mighty. If you have that as a like, if you have those talents on a good body, you're gonna get a lot of hatches, dog. Like, let me look, for example. Let me see if I can find a good body. I'm just gonna use the Searing Scorpion as a random example. So when it comes to pets, oh, this is exclusive because it's a weaving pet. Fair enough. But anyways, so when it comes to like getting the right body, really what you want to look for is a good body that either goes with a set bonus or has good item cards. Like this Searing Scorpion, for example, has a pretty decent one. However, a lot of the kiosk pets are kind of outdated, especially because right now the current meta pet, as of this recording, this can and will change later. So if you're watching this 5 years later, things have changed. But as of this recording, on the 5th of July 2026, the current meta pet are the new Pupbellies from the Barkingham Chronicles update, which are these robo dogs right here. Because these robo dogs, they give a hazard trap, in which for most schools except for balance, is a 65% trap to a specific school, where the balance one gives a 55 universal trap that anybody can use. And the crazy thing is, these have no negative effect on the caster. It still costs a singular pip like you're using a feint, and they are allowed in advanced content, making these the absolute meta pet of the game. So even though you cannot kiosk for this, you are able to get hatch peppers with them still, because if you were to go into here, for example, and if you were to hatch a pet with somebody, if you were to lend a pet, because you can lend without having to spend the gold yourself, so keep that in mind. But if you have someone that wants to hatch with your pet, whether they do the in-person request or you just meet somebody, you go into the sigil, the 2-person sigil, and you press lend pet, you're getting a hatch pepper in return for that. So you are able to do in-person hatches with people, lending your good body to then get a hatch pepper. There is a chance to get 2 in one hatch, but that's only if you do in-person. That cannot happen in the kiosk. Only in-person hatches have a chance to get 2 hatch peppers, but that is so rare that you may as well pretend it doesn't exist, because it's very rare. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, so now that you've told us about the hatch peppers and how to get them, what do you use them on? Recipes from Purreau here, because you can use them to make a hatchmaking kiosk, which you can put in your house or in a guild house. You can use them. No, you cannot use them for this. Fair enough. I thought you could. So forget about the tapestry. You can't use them here. But you can make your kiosk for your home. You can make different pet snacks, but honestly, I don't recommend. The big dick prize is the elixirs, because the clear hatching slot elixir is the Purreau's potion number 9, which if you're on hatching cooldown, you can craft this, and you can reset that timer. So if I were you, I would be building your stock of these hatch peppers, and then try and craft some of these, because if you want to, you can just build them up, craft a bunch of these if you have the time and if you have the pets, and you could just hold on to them, and then if you want to just mass spam hatch, get a bunch of these and you're good. You can also use them to get a hatching elixir, if you want to instantly hatch. However, this one's not as good anymore, because you could just spend a little bit of extra gold to get an instant hatch. And with how easy it is to make gold, this honestly is probably the worst prize. The next hatch free elixir is huge, because that means that when you activate it, next time you go to hatch, it will not cost you any gold at all. So when it comes down to this, if you're someone that has a lot of hatch peppers, you can cash them out to get yourself this elixir and this elixir. And keep in mind, some of these elixirs, they cost crowns in the crown shop. Matter of fact, hang on. We're going to go to elixirs right quick. So the hatching elixir costs 150 crowns. The Purreau's potion costs 400 crowns. They're the next hatch free in here, or no, I don't see it. No, I don't think it's here. No, it's not even here. Fair enough. Alright, fair enough. So anyways, so point is, you basically use the hatch peppers to make those elixirs. And now I know, fun fact, that the next hatch free elixir seems to be exclusive only to this guy's crafting recipe, which you could just use the basic crafting station. So if you wanted to combo these two, you would need 300, which sounds like a lot because it is. But the best way to do it is to do your daily lens for people, and to put your pets in the kiosk on top of it. And the best efficient way to be able to do this is to make sure that you have the perfect bodies. Make sure you have the perfect pets. Make sure they're 2.0s. Make sure they're the right body. Make sure they have the right item cards because of it being the right body. And make sure they have the right talents because different content and different builds will require different pets entirely. So know what you want to do and know what the metas are. Because I can tell you that people, when it comes to building the right pet, they are min-maxers. There are min-maxers, there are meta farmers. There are elitists out there who want the absolute pinnacle of damage, of resist, etc. So make sure that you get yourself at least 5 to 10 perfect pets. And so if you do it that way, you could just provide them to the community, and that is how you can mass farm these hatch peppers over time. As a matter of fact, my quint damage pet, Sergeant Isabella, who's a snow beast, is my most popular pet because it is a quint damage pet. It is a hitting pet. And despite being ice, which is the worst school to hit on in the game, no doubt, so bad in fact, that they cap out at about 230 damage if you get your max jewels on your max gear. Which is horrible compared to literally everybody else. Even life can get like 250 to 260. So even though it's disappointing and how I don't have as many, if I was doing this on a fire, a storm, or a myth, or even a death, I would probably be stacking right now. So I need to lock in as well. But that is going to do it. That is going to cover the hatch peppers. And that is how you can build your way to being able to make your hatching and pet training experience cheaper and less bullshit. Just use your pet making strategies that you've been using. If if you know the strategies, just keep using them, and then just add this workflow on top of it too, so that you can actually make your stuff faster and cheaper. But that is going to do it for this video. So if you enjoyed this one, if you found this helpful, hit that like, hit that comment, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs for the first time in our lives. My name is Tyr, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night.